Hello, everyone. Welcome to Golden Age Wealth Portal, the Masterclass. There's a lot in store for us today. First, I want to set the container. I have my notes so I don't miss anything. I want to set the container so we can all really surrender into this space. And then we'll go through the transmission. And during our time together, I invite you to not only open your mind, but really open your body, open your energy, open your heart, because it's my intention that with this masterclass, you don't just get information, you experience a shift. You experience an understanding or an inner standing. You have an energetic experience that provides value not only today, but going forward in every aspect of your life. That is my intention. So if you are a note taker, take notes and know that you will get the replay. So check in with yourself. If you would best receive this to just listen and be in it and see what comes to mind, let yourself do that and then perhaps go re-listen and take notes later. So I'm going to aim for maybe hour and a half. When I checked in, it said 1 to 2 hours, and I'm like, well, that's like a 200 or 100% difference. So I'm aiming for about an hour and a half. It's going to depend on questions. It's going to depend on kind of what threads we follow in more depth based on what y'all are calling forward on a soul level. So we will, anything else on that? The replay will be sent out, so you will have access to that. If you have any friends that you want to share this with, I ask you to please share the registration link so they can register in their own name and get the replay. For those of you who are active on social media and like to share, I love when people share their experiences or share kind of a behind the scenes or a snippet of saying something that really resonates with you. If you feel called to share that and tag me, I love reposting it. So that is an option as well. Anything else on the container? At the end of the masterclass, I'm going to let you know when we are closing the container, when the transmission is ending, and I will then move into sharing with you, for anyone who wants to go deeper into this work, something that I'm offering, ways that you can work with me outside of this masterclass. So if you want to stick around, stick around. If you feel complete at the end of this transmission, you can say goodbye and hop off. So anything else for container? Nope, that feels good. Okay. So everyone close your eyes for a moment. Let's just drop in to our bodies and start to slow your breath, deepen your breath. Breathe into your heart space. And breathe into the seed of light in your heart space. And as you do, it will beam like a laser up through the crown of your head, plugging into connecting with the infinite source. And it will also laser beam down from the heart space through the center of your body, down into the core of the earth, anchoring us above and below. Calling upon our higher selves to embody through us now with direct connection to source, with direct connection to our oversoul, with direct connection to our intuitive divine guidance. I ask to be a pure, pristine vessel for the Golden Age Wealth Portal transmission. And I set the intention to facilitate and catalyze an energetic shift that acts as an attunement to the energy that we will be discussing today. Calling upon any of our individual highest healing teams, angels, guides, teachers, those who are willing and able to support us in our soul's highest evolution now, calling them in to guide, protect, and surround us in unconditional love and unconditional truth. From the north, east, south, west, above and below, 360 degrees in all directions. I ask to now open our physical senses, our intuitive senses, and to calibrate them to best receive this transmission now. I ask for this or greater and humbly bow in gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Sacred space is now open. What in the world is a Golden Age Wealth Portal? I'm going to start by telling a story. When I was in Greece last summer. Now, I am not studied up on Greek mythology. I do not know the history. I have a deep connection to Greece from my soul ancestry, from different incarnations that I have spent and experienced in Greece, but I've not studied the physical history, haven't been called to. So I was there, I was called, soul calling to go do some sacred work, kind of my behind the scenes sacred work in Greece last summer. And me and two priestess sisters went to Delphi. Now, I have no idea what Delphi is. I'm just a channel. I am just a channel. So I go and we are at Delphi and we're walking up and there's a few different sites kind of at this site. And we walk by this building, it's ruins of a building, and I immediately stop and I am channeling. I'm speaking light language, my hands are moving, I'm in my channeling state, and there is so much coming through from this one building. And I'm just repeating aloud, Golden Age Wealth Codes, Golden Age Wealth Codes, Golden Age Wealth Codes, Golden Age Wealth Codes. Now, my mind doesn't know what the Golden Age Wealth Codes are. As an embodied oracle, I felt it and was receiving it. Come to find out, I look up, there's a plaque that says what this building is, and it is the treasury of Delphi. So this site dates back to what I would consider the last golden age. What is a golden age? A golden age is a time in history where we are collectively living in peace, in prosperity, in vitality. And so when I find myself at the treasury at Delphi, which was around during the last golden age, and I am channeling golden age wealth codes, it became very, very clear that this was a much bigger transmission than I understood at the time. And while I didn't know what the golden age wealth codes were, I've been carrying them in my field and waiting for the divine guidance to bring them through, to translate them, to share them. And that's partially why we're here today, is to start talking about that. So let me back up for a moment for those of you who are new to me or to my work. Who the heck am I? And who am I to talk about a golden age wealth portal? What the fuck does that even mean? And what is my background to even suggest that I could bring something like this to you? Valid question. So my name is Jessica Zaya Bird. Jessica Bird is my given name. Zaya is the name of my channel. I had a 16-year sales career in corporate. I was in finance. I was in all kinds of different industries. I played I played in that realm. In the current paradigm of wealth, of money, of what that means. I learned a lot working in finance about the energy of money, about exchange, about what really happens internally when we go to make financial decisions, or when it comes to money in general. And while wealth does not equal money, and we'll talk about that today, it's important to note that I come from an experiential human background of working in the paradigm that we are moving away from. So I know the foundation of the current paradigm of wealth. And as an oracle, as a born intuitive, I shut my gifts down when I was little. They exploded online in my 20s and I had to figure out what to do with it. This was before crystals were on Instagram and spirituality was trendy. I had to figure it out. As I figured it out and hired mentors to help me along the way, I then began facilitating healing, intuitive development, helping people through that phase of their journey. That then grew to really serving people through their ascension. And we'll talk about ascension today. Because ascension is not a woo-woo concept. It's actually very, very grounded in the body. And so as an ascension guide, I help people move from one paradigm, your current life, what you know to be true, what you can predictably see as your future. I help people quantum leap, timeline jump to land in a different paradigm. One that your soul is calling you towards, one that does not necessarily make logical sense, one that you don't yet have a foundation for. So it feels terrifying. So as an ascension guide, as an oracle, it is very important for me to understand the current foundation that we're standing on and the one that we need to land on in order to fully integrate into the life that we're wanting to live. Are you with me so far? Is this making sense? Okay. So yes, I am an oracle. Yes, I am a channel. Yes, I am very human. Yes, I've gone through these quantum leaps myself. I've taken people through quantum leaps. And so I know what it takes to go through that, which with as little glitching as possible. And we will talk about the glitch because the glitch is real. Okay, so that's who I am. That's where I'm coming from. So when I first hear Golden Age wealth codes, I'm like, oof, that's big. That's bigger than me. Can I hold these codes? Can I, little human, really hold this and share this? Well, I'll just let it sit in my field. I'll let it come through as it's ready. Divine timing. I'll bring it through when the time comes. Fast forward, right before Christmas, I have COVID. That led me into what I was planning anyways to be a long hibernation. I took about 3 or 4 months of doing nothing. I slept, I ate grilled cheese and soup and bone broth and tea, and that's it. And I slept and woke up and ate and slept again. And my whole system was recalibrating. Now, I wasn't really taking clients. I was seeing my current clients. I wasn't launching anything or selling anything. I wasn't, what am I going to do to make money? I was just hibernating. And in the past, this would have been really scary. And my nervous system would have flared up. Where's money going to come from? Where are my next clients going to come from? Am I going to launch a program? I am being asked to do nothing for 4 months and hardly speak to anybody. Meanwhile, I'm holding these golden age wealth codes and I know they're meant to be shared, but all I'm doing is sleeping. During that time, when I'm largely offline, people start reaching out to me. I want to work with you. I want to work with you. I feel like are you doing one-on-ones? Are you taking clients, maybe a mastermind? Like, how can I work with you? How can I, like, I'm in hibernation right now. There will be none of that. I'll get back to you. Here's an application. Like, thank you. And that's how spirit tells me, God, spirit, goddess, universe, whatever, higher self, whatever resonates with you. Oh, the energy is coming in. You're going to be stepping forward soon. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm still in hibernation, so we'll wait. Keeps coming in, keeps coming in, keeps coming in. Then what do I hear? Golden age wealth portal. Golden age wealth portal, wealth portal, wealth portal, wealth portal. I'm like, am I opening a portal now? Yes, open the golden age wealth portal. Open the golden age wealth portal. First response, human response. Who am I to open the golden age wealth portal? Who? You sure? Like, you got the right girl? Because that feels big. I'm not a billionaire. Who am I to speak to golden age wealth? And they're like, that's why it's you. Okay. So I open a mastermind, the Ascension mastermind. And this is all a part of the story, and it's important, so bear with me. I open the mastermind. Then it's golden age wealth portal, golden age wealth portal, golden age wealth portal. The reason I am being asked to open this mastermind is to guide people through a golden age wealth portal. And then it was, yes, but you have to speak it publicly because everyone has access to this portal. Not everyone is going to go through it holding your hand, but we all have access to the golden age wealth portal. So the reason that this transmission is even coming through is because a golden age wealth portal is opening from about spring to summer. We've been in hibernation. We've been behind the scenes. We've been probably reassessing a lot of things in our life. Like, oh, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't feel in alignment. Or I checked that box, checked that box, checked that box, but I'm still not fully fulfilled. Like, I know there's more. That's the season that we've been in. And ideas may have started coming in. We may have started seeing glimpses of what's to come or feeling inspiration to take action in certain areas. We don't fully have all the information yet, but it's starting to open up for us. And that's kind of the collective energy right now. So the golden age wealth portal is a gateway between the dimension we're currently living in and the one we want to ascend to. A portal, simple definition, a portal is a gateway between dimensions. We are talking about dimensions of consciousness. So if we are in this current dimension of consciousness, this, we'll call it old paradigm, we have trauma imprints. We are living in our pain body. We are living in a lot of inorganic blueprints. And I'm going to talk more about all of this, but I want to paint this picture. So we're living in this dimension, a lower dimension of consciousness, where we are not fully connected to our divinity. We are, our intuitive technology is not all the way turned on. A lot of it's off or dormant. We carry pain and trauma in our energy field, in our emotional body, in our pain body, in our energy body. And this is the dimension that most of the planet is living in. There's unequal power dynamics. There's scarcity, there's lack, there is fear. There's so much fear. There's survival. We're in survival. We're in a survival state. That's this dimension. The dimension that we are ascending to is the golden age. The golden age is an age where society, where a collective, where civilization is not surviving, but thriving. There is the baseline is not fear and trauma. The baseline is peace, prosperity, divinity, connection. So the current energetic gateway that is opening for us in 2022, spring, summer is a kind of the bulk of it, at least as I am being shown, is the energy of this golden age wealth portal. It is the doorway between this dimension and this dimension. So I'm going to talk about wealth. I'm going to talk about golden age wealth, and then I'm going to talk about the portal. Okay. So if the golden age is one of peace, prosperity, unity, what we really want to understand is that these two paradigms, these two dimensions, are operating on two different blueprints. So think if you were an architect and you were to build out the blueprint of a house that was going to be built, and this blueprint creates the structure of what becomes the physical house. The current paradigm of wealth that we live in is an inorganic blueprint. Meaning the original blueprint, this infinite life, infinite abundance, unity consciousness has been distorted, has been manipulated, and we are operating off of what is no longer the original source code organic life blueprint. It is an inorganic blueprint that is largely based upon separation. The original separation is the separation of the human from our divinity. How does that play out in money? We'll talk about it. But if the inorganic blueprint that is creating the world that we know, that is wealth, that is money, we have to look at where that blueprint is off to understand why it's not in our highest good. To then see, oh, well, now I more fully understand the organic blueprint, what it could be like, what it can be like for all of us, and then we can attune to it. So the organic blueprint, golden age wealth, is infinite life. Imagine a seed of life, a seed of the spark of light from the divinity that we all are, and it just fractalizes out on itself. It grows from itself. It just continues to live life through itself. It is a self-generating organic movement of life living. Masculine and feminine are in harmony, because we know that unity consciousness, we can call that source energy, unity. When this God particle, as I like to say, drops into this earthly realm of time and space, it splits into masculine and feminine as two primordial forces that operate together. We can call this yin yang Alpha, Omega, different traditions mention these ineffable energies that we will today call masculine and feminine. The receptive, intuitive feeling, and the action, logical, time, space, presence, consciousness, and direction. Now, this organic blueprint has the masculine and feminine in harmony, both within ourselves and in the world that we see outside of ourselves. And prosperity and divinity are interwoven. Prosperity and divinity are interwoven. So tune into that for a moment. Tune into how your body feels, how your body responds to the word wealth, to the word money. Like, repeat in your mind a few times, close your eyes, really tune into yourself, like wealth, money, prosperity, wealth, money, prosperity. In your current life. And then type in the chat box what comes up for you. Is it fear? Is it abundance? Is it trust? Is it nervous system response? Are you like, do you clench? How does your body respond? Separation, my birthright. Okay. A lot of resistance, programming around greed, misalignment, tiny contraction, but a vision of a lake in nature. Beautiful. Constriction. Okay, perfect. Fear, nervous, amazing. We are feeling the current paradigm of wealth. We are feeling the inorganic blueprint. Blockages, inaccessible. Pleasure, beautiful. So we can see where we might be plugged into, and y'all, it's our world. Of course, we're plugged into it. We were born into it. This is not a shame thing. We were born into an inorganic blueprint. What we have the opportunity to do is see it for what it is and extract ourselves from it to anchor in the organic blueprint. So the current inorganic blueprint, like many of you mentioned, is one of separation. It is one of quite frankly, a slavery system. The current wealth paradigm, the inorganic blueprint, is a slavery system. That resonates so much. Beautiful. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You are your own guru. I am simply sharing a transmission. So in this inorganic wealth blueprint, there's separation, there's greed, there's trauma, there's fear. Now, why do so many people have some wild limiting beliefs around money? Because we do. I've worked through a lot of mine to be where I am today, and I've seen crazy ones from everyone I've worked with over the years. There's so much in our mind about money and wealth that shows us exactly how we are indoctrinated into this inorganic blueprint. Because it's not coming from a place of connection to our divinity. It's coming from a place of fragmentation. We are fragmented. So the inorganic blueprint, we are fragmented. The organic blueprint, we are a unified field of life fractalizing out on itself. So we're going from fragmented to fractalizing. And allow yourself to just let these images land and feel them in your body. I will make this practical and tangible, but it is energetic first and foremost. So the reason we see greed, and so many people have these limiting beliefs of, I want a bunch of money, but I don't want to be greedy. And I want to charge these higher rates because I'm doing big work in the world. But what if people can't pay me? I feel like I'm opening to this organic blueprint and I'm connected to my divinity and I feel my worth and everything is flowing and everything is aligned. But what does that mean? And what will people think? And can people pay? And am I greedy? And can I trust myself with the money? And we close around it. And so my first invitation is to start really tuning into your body and how you feel with every exchange you make or consider making. Are you contracting? Are you expanding? Here's the thing. Contraction does not mean it's wrong. Contraction is showing you where you are standing on the inorganic blueprint, or because you're in a trauma response, you're in fear, you're in lack, you're in scarcity, you're in survival, you're in the disconnect from your divinity because this doesn't make logical sense, so my body is contracting, so it's wrong. So notice the body and then ask what it's telling you. Oh, there's so much I want to go through. Where do I even, okay. Okay, so if the inorganic blueprint is one of separation and materialism, inorganic blueprint, wealth blueprint is separation and materialism. How do we define wealth? I looked it up because I love words. An abundance of valuable possessions or money. That definition in and of itself is one of materialism. Another definition is plentiful supplies of a particular resource. Okay, that could probably land in the organic blueprint of connection, of divinity, of unity, because it's plentiful. Another definition of wealth is the total value of assets minus debts. My ex-finance self is like, that made perfect sense in that reality. That made perfect sense. But it's pointing big fat arrows to the very thing that most of the collective hasn't even acknowledged. In that it's an inorganic definition. It's I have to do something to receive something, to accumulate material assets, and then that is wealth. Okay, we see that template. We're going to use nature to paint a picture of the organic wealth template. Nature has a divine intelligence. Nature does not have an accountant. Nature does not have a financial advisor. Nature does not have a middleman between its survival needs and its resources. Air is air, we breathe it. Water is water, it falls from the sky. And you know what world, the old paradigm, this inorganic wealth, somebody goes to the spring, bottles it up, and sells it to you. It's free. Water falls from the sky and travels down the streams into the oceans, and a living resource. There is no middleman, there is no accountant, there is no ledger of you took one sip. What are you going to do to replenish your sip? Why? Because we're living in an organic reciprocity. It's like the torus field. We have a torus field in our body. Our energy moves up, down, out, and around through us. So we're giving out, it's coming in. We're giving out, it's coming in. It's the organic flow of nature. It just started raining. It's the organic flow of nature. So this is not to say that golden age wealth, infinite prosperity, does away with the material world, the material possessions. It's not one or the other. It's a switch of the direction of energy. And it's an internal calibration and attunement to the organic wealth template. So organic wealth, if we're talking kind of inorganic wealth versus organic wealth, which is the golden age, that's what we're moving to. Organic wealth is immaterial. We're playing with a different currency. We're playing in a different paradigm, in a different dimension of consciousness. That doesn't mean the physical world goes away. That means we're not operating first and foremost physically. We are operating in the energetic that then manifests physically. Notice the difference. They both exist. The material and immaterial both exist in the current paradigm. And the material and immaterial both exist in the golden age. What is the difference? Old paradigm, we're living in a trauma response, in lack consciousness. And the people who have the most money are ones who have abused their power, are ones that are operating off of lack and scarcity and greed. Because here's what a lot of people don't talk about. When you have a lot of money, most people, they don't feel safe and secure. They're afraid of losing it. They're operating on the same inorganic blueprint, even if they're at the top of it. Even in the matrix of the world that has been built, that we plug into to feel like, oh, well, I'm going to work for this person and do this thing. And this hour equates to this number of dollars. And I will give this time to receive this money. There's separation inherently in that equation. How? What's the separation in that equation? Giving time, receiving money. I'll work for you. You give me this. It's looking at something outside of ourselves to receive what we need to survive. And it is infused with fear. What are we told? Go to school, pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to go to college to get a piece of paper. Take this piece of paper into the marketplace and go prove your worth, prove your value for someone who agrees to pay you, so that you can then pay off the debt. Oh, look at that. We're entering the system in debt. What is debt? It's an attachment. It's a cord of attachment. It is a form of slavery. It is a slavery bond. And this is not the space for me to go into that. So if this triggers you, or if this brings up something, that could be a whole masterclass in and of itself, but unfortunately we don't have the space for it today. So if it doesn't land, just leave it out of this conversation for you. We're going in with a deficit and then trying to figure out how to replenish it. Even if your parents paid for your school and you're going out fresh into the world, what are we here? Fake it till you make it. What? Please don't. Like, if I'm going to go hire someone to help me transform something in my life, whether that's like hiring an accountant or a financial advisor or a mentor or a coach, please do not fake it. When you tell me that you can support me, like, that is, again, showing us our disconnect from integrity, disconnect from our divinity, disconnect from people's intuitive guidance system to be able to have a bullshit radar to know that you're faking it. Like, just look at the common phrases in our world. And the more you start seeing this inorganic blueprint, the easier it will be to extract yourself from it. Okay. So we have a bunch of people at the top of the food chain that have helped to create this inorganic wealth system where the powers that be have taken the natural world and sold it back to us as if it wasn't free to begin with, and have created various structures and systems such that there is a huge income gap, huge wealth disparity, and that's the norm. And we wonder why a lot of us have limiting beliefs around being rich, making a bunch of money. We see the greed, we see the power dynamics, we see the inequality, we see the result of the inorganic blueprint. Now, here's the thing. If we want to anchor golden age wealth, that doesn't mean we work our way to the top of the current system. If we work our way to the top of the current system, we are simply climbing in the same system. Now, that does not mean that that's not your path. That doesn't mean that you have to leave corporate, leave your job, and go be a spiritual entrepreneur. Doesn't mean any of that. What it means is you are likely stationed in a particular industry to fulfill a particular part of your soul mission. And it is your responsibility to know the system that you're working in. And what are you doing to shift it? What are you doing to help move to the new one? Now, I love money. So let's say that I love money. Is it a man-made thing? Yes, it is. Is it also a frequency made manifest? Sure is. Do I love playing the game of creation with money? Sure do. I've gotten pretty good at it. Nothing wrong with it. Set big financial goals. Love money. Want all the things in the world. That's fine. But wanting it for yourself does not mean it's taking away from somebody else. And the more that we can get money into the hands of good-hearted, divine, connected beings, that is how the collective paradigm can shift. For example, I was in sales for 16 years. I was in finance for 5 years. I made money and built a foundation that I could leap from to now do what I do as an oracle. I'm an oracle full-time for a living. I make more money than I ever did in finance. That was a part of my journey, to be in that industry, in that system. So this is not to paint a picture of what your life needs to look like. It's to show you how it's so intertwined in our everyday lives so you can start to notice it in your own. Okay. So if inorganic wealth is material value and separation, organic wealth is intrinsic value, intangible value, and unity. We care for the earth provides fresh food and water. There's a reciprocity. We don't buy the earth, take the things, and then sell it and do nothing to steward the land and honor the land and the elements and the energy that took to grow that which we are feeding from. It is that reciprocal energy of I care for you, you care for me, at the most fundamental level. So we're going from largely living in a survival response in the nervous system to a steady, stabilized nervous system. That is what's required to move from one to the other. Because in the old paradigm, we want to do something or buy something. And it's this linear order of, oh, I have to go do this, make money, and then I can pay. Versus my soul is calling me to Greece. I am being guided to hire videographers and pay for 3 people to travel together on a sacred mission not knowing what it's for, paying tens of thousands of dollars. And I do it knowing that the resources will be there
Sorry,
to.
I had to sign up for a webinar.
You could please mute yourself. That would be great. So do we feel the difference there? Oop, let me stop recording really fast. Hold on. Okay. So if we're moving from scarcity, lack, nervous system response, fear, and that is the energy of the current wealth paradigm. We have to heal our nervous system to be able to trust our divine guidance, so that we know if our soul is calling us towards something and it requires money, that we trust ourselves to do it and know we are supported. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the portal soon. But to recap, old paradigm, old wealth paradigm is material wealth, separation, pain body, lack consciousness, trauma response nervous system, fragmented. Organic wealth, golden age wealth, is on a foundation of union, spiritual and material union. Spiritual and material union. It has an intangible, intrinsic value. There is a reciprocity energy, kind of a torus field of energy, rather than a linear energy. And we are anchored in sovereignty. Okay. Now, golden age wealth, this energy plays out in every aspect of our lives, not just financial. We're talking about money because our current definition of wealth is material, and the material is money. That's not ultimately what it means, and that's not ultimately where we will stay as a collective. What is shifting is that we have an opportunity for those of us who are connected to our soul, who are connected to our divinity, who do feel a calling to fulfill a soul mission. We feel like we came here for a reason. We have a purpose. We know there's more than just us. We know we're in a collective consciousness shift. We know the planet is waking up. We know we have an opportunity to ascend into this higher dimension of consciousness where there's peace and love and joy and unity and divinity, and humans are divine gods embodied. So the question is, how do we move from one to the other? That is what this golden age wealth portal is here to do. So now let's paint a picture of this portal, because this came through so clearly. Imagine you are driving down the highway. This is an energetic highway. So imagine you're moving through life on this energetic highway where you can look down the road and predictably see what is in your future. You can predictably see as things are approaching you. You can predictably see your job, your relationships, your friends. It's your current timeline. You're on autopilot. You barely have to drive the car. It practically drives itself. It is a straight shot ahead. You know the way. It is a paved road. Now you might drive and see some trash thrown on the ground and be like, ugh, I don't love that, but like, this is the road. Or you see people over here doing something and you're like, ooh, this feels like a bad area, but like, this is the road. And then you start to see or feel ahead of you an exit. And this exit says more. You're like, huh, what is that? I don't know that I have a map. If I take this exit, like, I don't know really where this exit is taking me, but it says more. And I want more. Like, I know that I want more. I might not know what more is, but there is something more calling me. And the exit is far enough away such that you can like see it approaching, or you feel it approaching. And a lot of us are in that right now, and maybe have been for the past month or so. Because what you don't see this yet, but what the exit actually is the doorway to the portal. And again, it's energetic. So what do? We have some options. We're on this road, we're on this timeline, and we're like, this is the fated life. I got these words from Rebecca Campbell because I love the way that she painted this picture in one of her oracle decks. But the fated life is like what you're born into. Your circumstances, your beliefs, your family, your indoctrination, the inorganic blueprint is what we're fated into. That's our fated life. If we just follow the path based on what our soul stepped into, that is the fated life. Destiny is what your soul came to fulfill. Often, usually, it requires shifting things on the fated path, doing internal work to get off of the fated path, and there's a choice point, a decision to follow the destiny path. Now, on this road, this energetic highway that we're on, with this exit sign saying more, we don't yet know that when we take the exit, we're stepping into a portal. We just feel it. We just know that we want more, and we see a sign that says more. So we're like, Now it's a frequency. We're driving on the current road. Let's say the frequency is, we know it well. And then we start hearing, ooh. We're like, what? And we get closer, ooh. And we're like, what? That sounds so good. That feels, oh, wait, no, stay here. And the wheel starts to turn. We're like, And so there's this glitchiness happening because we have an option. we can either see this coming and make the choice to start to put on your blinker, to start switching lanes, to start, making some decisions that align with whatever it is that's calling you for more. And like gracefully ease into the exit and like go down that road. Or we can be like, I don't know what's down that road. It's literally leading me into a dark tunnel. It's a dark tunnel. I don't know what's on the other side. I don't even know what's in it. It's a dark tunnel. It is the unknown. I have no idea where I'm going. I don't even know if my car can drive on that terrain. I don't even know the terrain. What if I'm like going underwater and my car needs to swim? Like, I don't know how. I don't know how. I don't see it. It's not predictable. It's not something I can see clearly in my physical life and predict what will happen and know that I will be safe. So I'll just stick with, Then the exit's getting closer and closer and closer. And it's, it's getting close and close. And then some people, they swerve at the last minute. They're just, and they swerve because they can't miss it. And it's that last minute knee jerk, almost like your soul takes the wheel and you thrust yourself into the unknown and you're like, oh shit, I am unprepared, but I'm here and I'm going. And well, because you didn't make the choice earlier. It could have been a smoother exit, but we have to sit with ourselves and notice where we do follow the and when we hear that and feel that and just don't look at it, we keep going. Often, this comes down to the safety in your nervous system. This comes down to trusting yourself. This comes down to you trusting your soul, your heart, your divine guidance. If you hear it, but you don't listen and you don't trust it, that's why you're probably not veering over to switch lanes and start preparing for this alternative route. You might swerve at the end. Or you might decide that, you know what? Yeah, this is a exit, but maybe it's not the only one. Surely there are other exits down the road. There's other exits down the road that are going to take me on my destiny timeline. A different destiny timeline. Now, they might be different routes. One might be a treacherous uphill climb. One might be the scenic route where you see a lot of things, but it happens slower, but you take a really beautiful scenic route. I'm not here to talk about any of the other potential exits. I'm here to talk about the one that's presenting itself right now. Right now. And that is this exit that is titled More. And once you get there, you see that it is the Golden Age Wealth Portal. So let's just say, and you take the exit. You get there and you realize, well, shit. I don't know that I'm prepared for this. I have never seen this terrain before. I've never seen this terrain. I don't know if I'm going to pop a wheel or if I need a spaceship But something like this technology, I don't even know if it'll work. How do I even go? I don't have a map. I don't have a guide. I'm literally following the, oh. And you realize there's actually some requirements. I wrote them down. So it's kind of like, I see it like a weigh station. Like, you know, where the trucks go and they exit and they have to weigh and make sure certain things are in order for them to drive on the route. Similar here. Stop. There's a gate, there's a checkpoint, a gateway. And there are certain things that are required to move through this portal and go down this destiny path. First thing you come to realize is this exit, this portal, is a quantum leap. Quantum leaps are not baby steps. Quantum leaps are leaps. You might come to this portal and be like, I don't know that I have it in me to make a quantum leap right now. I don't think my nervous system is where it needs to be. I don't feel like I have the support to help me through this quantum leap to land on the other side. I don't, you know what, maybe the quantum leap isn't for me. Maybe the slow and steady eye on the prize, allow other opportunities to present themselves later down the road is where you are. That's perfect. Again, sovereignty, but be conscious of what you're choosing. There may be another exit. There may not be another exit. If you choose your destiny, you're going to get there regardless. Whether you take this exit, whether you go through this portal, it doesn't matter.
I'm gonna wait for Zoe.
You could please mute yourself. That would be wonderful. You also realize that your technology needs to be upgraded. Your intuitive technology needs to be upgraded so that you are plugged into your divine guidance system, because that is your GPS. That is what tells you what step to take, where to go, how to do it. The how is no longer relevant because you are plugged into the guidance system that's telling you every step of the way. But note, it is the same divine guidance that is calling you towards the oh. That is what you will need to be plugged into to navigate that road. So if you're having a hard time trusting your intuitive guidance that's calling you towards the oh, then know that that's exactly what you're gonna have to move through to gain that trust, to keep following it, because that is what will land you on the other side. Okay. We also realize as we exit, as we decide to go through this portal, that we require upgrades. Our nervous system requires an upgrade. Our brain requires an upgrade. The neural pathways in the brain, that requires upgrading. Just shift your beliefs, rewrite internal stories. That upgrade is required. Now, you don't have to do these things before you enter the portal. Most of these things will naturally come up as you move through the portal. So I had a great question recently. Somebody asked me, what do I need to heal in order to quantum leap? in this case, in this picture, it would be, what do I need to heal in order to take this exit and go through the portal? Well, one, you have to heal whatever you need to heal in order to make the decision to switch lanes and drive in this direction. So whatever you need to heal to make the decision that, yes, I'm doing it, that's what you need to heal. Anything else that will need to be healed to land where it is that you're going will naturally arise in the process. You will see where you are carrying distortion. You will see where you are called to invest in something and the old paradigm plays out in your mind. Where's the money coming from? I don't see it, so it doesn't exist. You'll see it. You don't have to see it all to start. But you have to be aware that to take this exit, to go through this portal, to land where it is that your soul is calling you to land, you will face yourself. Alexandra, my spirit's like, throw me in, coach. All right, we're here for it. We're here for the exit. So we'll see where the old template, the inorganic template, is in our body, is in our life, where it's in our sex life, where it's in our romantic relationships, where it's in our friendships, where it's in our career, where it's in money. We're going to see this template in all of the areas of our life that are not resonant with where we're going. So I hope we see right now that this is about so much more than money. This is a paradigm beyond money. So now we also have to be aware that as we upgrade from a car to a spaceship, because the car doesn't operate in this new dimension, we need a spaceship now. All right, well, we're cool. We're upgrading my human, my avatar, my intuitive technology, my brain, my nervous system. We're doing, we're upgrading. We experience the glitch. The glitch is so real. The glitch is kind of when we experience the push-pull between the dimensions. Or we are following our soul, we're following and then something happens and we jerk back and and we're kind of like doing this. We're glitching. We don't know what we're glitching. That's normal. You might find yourself in like a mental swirl and be like, oh shit, I thought this was true, but I know this doesn't resonate with where I'm going. So I'm rewriting the story, but I don't really know what belief I'm anchoring in yet. Like I'm kind of in the void. Nothing makes sense. Where am I? Glitch. Ooh, I'm going to take one step and that feels really good, but then something comes in that I don't know how to handle. Ooh, I want to go back, but no, I'm here. Glitch. Ooh, this feels true. I'm going to move in this direction. I'm going to raise my prices. I'm going to invest in this coach, or I'm going to take this trip, or I'm going to leave this relationship. I'm going to change my job. I'm going to make a big pivot. It requires a pivot. So give yourself grace as you glitch. We are not here to take away the glitches. Now, if you choose to be supported through this quantum leap, that will very much help ease the glitches. But if we're navigating this on our own, just in our own guidance, know that the glitch is a part of the process and it's showing you where you're clicking into place. because we have to unclick out of like what we're plugged into in the inorganic template and click into where we're landing in the organic template. So again, this will show up in every area of our lives currently in the glitch. Abso-freaking-lutely. I used to think every time I glitched that it was messed up, that I was doing something wrong, that I somehow got on the wrong path. I thought I was taking the exit to my destiny, and then I'm lost in the countryside somewhere and I'm glitching out and I'm like, well, shit, I'm lost. Well, no, you're just glitching. That's the road. You're doing fine. And so the more that we can acknowledge the glitch and let it show us where we're unplugging here and clicking in here, it's okay to feel the clunkiness in between. So let that give you permission to feel the discomfort and keep moving through it. Okay. Now, we talked about this portal being a quantum leap. That phrase is thrown around all the time. So I'm going to give you my definition because I work very strongly in the quantum reality, in the energetic, and in like the human embodied. A quantum leap we think of as a big external shift. I'm going to get a divorce. I'm going to get married. I'm going to have a baby. I'm going to travel the world and build an empire. It's like it looks very different than it does right now. The reality is the quantum leap happens internally. Quantum is referring to the smallest particles. The quantum field is the fabric of our reality, and it is unseen to the physical eye. So a quantum leap is shifting on a quantum level, and then as we shift the quantum field, we shift the Akashic field, the material world shifts. That is why in a quantum leap, it looks and feels like it happens overnight. Time collapses. We are not in the normal linear time that we are used to. Time collapses. Things happen faster because we're moving from this density, this level of consciousness where things happen more slowly, into a higher dimension of consciousness where things happen faster because we are so tuned in to our energetic, to our quantum field, to our mental and emotional state, that we make that internal shift and bam, we see it in our physical world. This is why I have clients who say, oh my gosh, after that last call, 7 days, or I think it was like a week or two later, her income increased like 6 times. It happened fast. You make the decision internally that you're going to leave your job, and then bam, someone reaches out and wants to hire you, and then this opportunity presents itself, and this opportunity presents itself. You didn't wait for the physical opportunity to present and then make the decision. That's not a quantum leap. A quantum leap is you decide and you shift it internally and you allow and trust your divine guidance to bring it into the physical world through you. This is where fear comes in. If our sense of safety is tied to what is known, it is going to be very difficult to do something new. If your sense of safety is tied to, then then as aligned and as exciting as might feel, it's going to scare the shit out of you. Again, that doesn't mean it's wrong. That means that's the initiation. To go through this golden age wealth portal, to take a quantum leap, a decision is required. You have to decide. Or you are already very much in alignment with this energy that you don't have to swerve off the road. You will naturally, the car will kind of naturally move in that direction and go through the portal because you are a vibrational match to it. That doesn't mean you won't glitch. That doesn't mean there won't be things to heal. That doesn't mean that you might not need to make some scary changes in your life to land it. But most of you are here because you feel this energy anyways, even if you don't get it. People have talked a lot about 2022 and the numerology of it, and 22 being a master builder number. We are building, literally building a new paradigm this year. Things are coming into form for a lot of people. Dreams and big picture visions that we have held and embodied and worked towards for a long time have a very strong opportunity to physically land, especially through this golden age wealth portal in spring and summer. But you have to be receptive to it. And you have to check yourself. And tune into your body and ask, am I, or am I moving towards the, So know that in a quantum leap, you will feel ungrounded. Most likely at some point. Why? If you are a plant in this sized pot and you've grown as much as you can grow in this pot, the quantum leap for the plant would be to uproot and plant it in a bigger pot where it can fulfill more of its potential. Well, what's required? You have to uproot. You have to make the decision to unplug from the inorganic wealth template to see where you are in fear, lack, scarcity, imprisonment. And feel the roots dangling and, oh shit, I'm not replanted yet. I don't feel grounded. I need to land. And know that it will land underneath your feet. It might be clunky. You might not understand how. And then you start feeling the soil and the roots start to grow down and you look up and your life is different. So taking the exit, going through the portal, making that decision is not for everybody. The energy is here to support us, but this is really supporting the people who are kind of on the first wave of anchoring this new paradigm. And as we anchor it, there's a stronger frequency, there's a stronger resonance. More people can come into harmony with this paradigm beyond money. And the good news is when we land in the paradigm beyond money, we're not really worried about money. But we have what we need. We can have more than we need. We can be millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires. Or we could live on a mountainside and travel where we want to travel. Our life can look however we want it to look. But it's no longer coming from scarcity. It's coming from, this is better than I could have ever imagined in every area of my life. This is the golden age. So as you exit, and you know there's an initiation, we'll talk about what some of the initiations are that either I've experienced, that I see with my clients. The initiation is an energetic calibration, right? If we're talking about an energetic highway, an energetic exit or portal, we can choose to go down that road, and we have to be an energetic match for it. In order to become an energetic match, there is an initiation that takes place. Oftentimes, the initiation is, well, there's a couple of them. There's a scary decision to make. Might be leave the job, leave the relationship, move, get married, commit to something, invest in something. There's a scary decision, a life-changing decision that needs to be made. Or there is an investment that is required to invest in the foundation that you are building to land on the other side. That investment might be time. That investment might be studying something that's really calling you and it's not paying you. It's not, giving you money based on the old paradigm inorganic wealth template, but you're investing your time, you're investing your energy. You are me right now. I'm hiring a whole new team for my business because it's growing and we need a stronger foundation. So I'm investing in this team. It might be investing in a mentor. That happened to me when I wanted to leave finance. And I talked to somebody, I was gonna take one of her courses. And then she offered me coaching for a year. I'd never hired a coach. I didn't know anything about it. And I think at the time she said it was like $18,000 or something. And at the time I was like, oh, what? Like that number scared me then. And my goal, my intention was to leave my job by the end of the year in 12 months. And I didn't want to do it alone. I was scared shitless and I knew that I wanted support doing it. So I hired this mentor. Instead of leaving my job in 12 months, I left my job in 5 months. I replaced my income the first year. I quantum leaped. Since then, I now use my investment, whether it's time, energy, love, money. I invest, and this is part of the initiation, is investing into the foundation that you want to land on, rather than the foundation that you are unplugging from. So I like to ask myself, what am I investing into? Is me putting 40 hours a week into this side hustle that's not paying me right now, but it is calling me? Is that investing into the foundation that I'm stepping onto, or the one that I want to leave behind? Well, that might be investing in the one that you want to step onto. Or I really want to do this. I feel like this would guide me through this quantum leap. I don't know about the money. Okay, I was in that position. Are you investing into the foundation you want to stand on, or are you investing from a place of staying where you are? I see this in relationships. Are you investing time and energy in a relationship that is cycling in something that you no longer want to be in? Or are you setting a boundary, making a decision to anchor in the foundation that you want to be in? That's no longer draining you. People aren't dumping on you. It's a relationship that reveres you, that supports you. So we can look at this in any area of our life, but this is a part of moving through the gateway of a portal, of a quantum leap, is to make a decision, invest in the foundation that you want to land on, there was one more. And to give yourself the support that you need to help you fully calibrate. That might be a best friend that you talk to about what you're going through. That might be YouTube videos on energetic hygiene. That might be taking a course on a modality that's really calling you so you can move in that direction. That might be, put me in, coach, give me a mentor to hold my hand through this whole thing. But give yourself the support, because your nervous system will have to calibrate to what it is that you're stepping into. And even if what you're stepping into is bigger, better, greater, grander, the initial nervous system response is likely one of fear and contraction, because we don't know what it is. We don't feel fully safe, and we are still learning how to trust our intuitive guidance to follow it. Okay. Oh, lastly, you will also likely have to look at your attachment style. We'll start with money. Look at your attachment style with money. And we're almost done. Do you have an anxious attachment style with money? And I'm saying money, we're talking about wealth, but I'm talking about the inorganic blueprint of wealth, which is largely around money. But what is your attachment style? Do you feel anxious? The three main ones are anxious, avoidant, and secure. Anxious is like, well, I want to look at it and I'm looking at my bank account and I don't know where it's going to come from. And I feel anxious because I want to do this, but I don't know. And I want to check in. I want to look at it. You're anxious. You're like frazzled, high alert. Look at it with love. If you don't hear from your partner or someone you're dating or whatever for a day, or you think they're going to call and they don't, or, you know, something happens, how do you respond? Are you anxious? Where are you? You didn't call. Where's love? I need love. I'm giving love. It's not being received. I need love. Anxious with love. Are you avoidant? I don't want to look at my bank account. I don't want to think about it. I don't know how it's going to come in, whatever, not going to deal with it. Avoid. Don't want to look at you in the eyes. Same with love. Something's coming up. There's like a disagreement. The anxious attachment style would want to stick around and have the conversation and make sure we're resolving it. The avoidant attachment will be like drama, chaos, not doing it, by avoid. Secure would be, okay, I'm grounded in my breath. I'm grounded in my body. I'm grounded in something less transient. I'm grounded in my divinity. I'm grounded in my heartbeat. I'm centered. Something happens with love, relationship. you're grounded, you're centered, you're secure. You know, okay, we might be having a fight, but I know we can work through this, and we will, and we'll come together stronger. So let's move through that process with grace and love. Secure. With money, it's okay. I hear you, spirit. I hear you, soul. I feel the calling. This feels aligned. This feels right to me. I'm going to trust. I'm secure. I might feel fear. I might notice the anxiousness of, I don't know, how, We might notice the avoidance of, nope, I don't hear that calling. I don't hear that calling. It's not calling me. What? Nope, I don't hear. Oh, that's the radio. That's not real. Avoid. Or you're secure and you realize, yes, it's calling. Yes, I want to make the decision. Yes, it feels scary. Yes, I know that I'm supported. Yes, I'm doing it anyways. The power of your decision. I wish we were taught in kindergarten. The power of your decision. We don't make a decision after we know how. We make a decision and the how presents itself to us. This is the organic life blueprint. Life is living through us. If we are called to move through this portal and do something new that feels kind of scary, and we don't know how it's going to land, we decide. And then all of the opportunities present themselves. That's why when, someone signs up for a course of mine, before we even start, they're like, oh my God, I just received a check, or this client reached out and wants to hire me, or I just made the money back immediately, or, I feel the shift and we haven't even started yet. It's because you made the decision. And that decision attunes you to that 1 degree shift. That 1 degree shift that takes you towards the exit and through the portal. But you have to trust your own decisions. You have to fully invest in it. You have to fully be on board with it. And it is from this place that the way I'm hearing it is like wealth distribution takes place, redistribution takes place. Now we're stepping into a new paradigm of wealth. It truly is beyond money, but in a way that we can understand with the context that we currently have. The more people that move through this portal, that choose, that say, me, I am the one, I am doing this. It's what I came for. I'm going to do it. The more of us that do that make the decision, that go through the portal, that allow our whole multidimensional selves to restructure, to land in a life beyond our wildest dreams, the good-hearted, soul-connected, divinity-embodied people make a shit ton of money. That's what you want. Make a lot of money. So the more of us that go through this portal, anchor in the organic life blueprint, have more than we could need, not from a place of hoarding, from fear, from greed, from scarcity, from lack, from a place of more than I could imagine is flowing through me at all times. Love, sex, money, mission, intuitive guidance, divine interventions, opportunities, doors opening. The more of us that do that now, The more of us that do that this year, in this spring, summer, things are birthing, things are blooming. The more of us that do that, the more that we can funnel this frequency of new paradigm wealth through us. We are the example. Our lives show the example because we land in this new paradigm where we follow our soul's callings and we are infinitely supported, period. I'll repeat that. We follow our soul callings and are infinitely supported because we choose it to be so. Then we all have a huge opportunity for big picture things to click into place in our lives. In this energy, a lot of sacred unions are anchoring relationships between the divine feminine and the divine masculine coming into union. So in this portal, there's a lot of like divine sacred union relationships that are anchoring. There is a lot of sharing your unique transmission in the world in a way that reaches more people than you currently know how to reach. There's a lot of money flowing through the people who are helping others access their divinity. There is a lot of money flowing through the people who are bringing beauty to the world. There's a lot of money flowing through the healers, the service providers, the teachers, the consultants, the entrepreneurs, the people bringing in new technology that is very supportive of this golden age, this organic life template. And so we're literally seeing industries not only shift, but new industries be born. But that's why we don't see it yet. It's being birthed through us. But where currently in the old paradigm, we see the high-paying jobs are doctors and lawyers and CEOs. What's the common denominator? Most of them are plugged into a system that is corrupt. Finance. They're plugged into a system of inequality, of separation, of fragmentation. That will not last. I am here to tell you it will not last. If you want true wealth, if you want new paradigm, golden age, beyond money, wealth, you must be of service to the whole, or it will crumble beneath your feet. Now, this could be any industry. I have clients that are corporate execs, that are entrepreneurs in tech, in real estate, in the healing space. I have in Hollywood. I have clients all over the map. It's true for everyone. What made us wealthy in this old paradigm is not what makes us wealthy here. So you can either exit now and jump and be one of the first and land in this new paradigm of wealth and be like a living, breathing example of it, but you don't really have as many footsteps to follow. You're one of the first. You're leading the way. You are a way shower. And there's a lot of us doing it together. Or you can wait and drive down that road until you realize that the road is ending and you're going full speed and there's a brick wall ahead of you and there's nowhere else to go. I see a quantum leap like you're in a burning building. You're like, whatever, this doesn't work for me anymore. This life, this relationship, this job, this money, this career, this path doesn't resonate with me. I'm in a burning building. I've got to get out. But you're on the 18th floor and you have to leap. You have to leap. That's the quantum leap. You could wait and just crumble in the building. Or you can wait and try to like go down the stairs and avoid the fires and like maybe get burned on the way out, but like, or you can just leap and know that as your soul calls you to leap, you will land on a new foundation. But I want to encourage you, the intuitives, those who feel a soul calling, this is our time. This has been prophesied. We have talked about this. We have been preparing for this. The 2020, 2021, the 2 years of lockdown and pandemic and unearthing our shadows and facing ourselves, facing the shadows of the collective, seeing the trauma in the world, that has prepared us for now. So I'll close it out. If you feel called to go from to ask yourself, and this can be homework, but write it down. Ask yourself, what decision do I have to make? To turn the wheel, take the exit, titled more, to move through this portal. What decision do I have to make? And it might be just as simple as I'm making the decision to go through the portal, period. Or you might know, like, this is the decision I have to make. I have to make this investment. I have to make this change. I have to leave this or move to this. So 1, what decision do you have to make? 2, ask yourself, what would best support me in making this leap? What would support my nervous system? What would support my like energetic and intuitive alignment? Because remember, that's the GPS system. So what would support that alignment? What would support my mental body, my beliefs? Because there's beliefs built into this inorganic blueprint. What would support me in shifting some of these beliefs that are going to come up to be rewritten as we and what investment unlocks this gateway for me? What investment unlocks this gateway for me? Time, energy, money. Because remember, it's like it's a gateway. We are moving from a dimension, a frequency, to a higher dimension, a higher frequency. Okay. Any questions? I know we're going over longer than I said, but that's okay. Let me know if you have any questions and how this is landing. If you have a question on how this applies to you or a specific thing that could apply to other people, go ahead and ask. I see people turning on their cameras. Let me ask you this. Type in the comments, where do you feel like you are? Are you like going straight on the road and you see the exit? Are you like wanting to turn, but you don't know what the decision is? Or, or are you like, I'm not doing that? Are you swerving at the last minute? Like, where are you? And ask, I want to gauge where y'all are. And I do feel like a couple of y'all have questions. Straight on the road and see the exit. You said you'd love to know how it applies to you. Ask a specific question so I could answer it for everybody because it'll apply to everybody. Excited. Sometimes I'm in a field after exiting. Sometimes driving, like, fuck yes, I did it. Cool. Okay. Do we see, and keep typing in, but I want to make sure I fulfilled my intention here. Do you have a felt or envisioned or energetic context for the golden age wealth portal and template? Like, based on what we talked about today, do you feel like you'll be able to see this in your life? Unrooted, in the middle of the leap. Feel like I'm in the Midlands with a lot of no going back, triggering, like the choice is above my head. Ready to leap, the decision was made. I'm on the exit and keep questioning myself. Need to trust my intuition. The first hit I get, instead of repeatedly asking for more signs if this is the right thing. I love that. Okay, so most of us are leaping or wanting to leap. Two questions. What's the best way to energetically upgrade myself for the golden age portal? What does the energy of the portal feel like so I can tune in? I love that. I'm going to answer the second one first. The energy of the portal is fast. It's fast. That's why it scares some people. It's fast. So it's almost like, I mean, feel it. Feel this whole scene that I've set of going down the road and the oh, as you move towards the oh, it becomes it envelops you. It's magnetic. It pulls you in. There's a quickening to where you feel like, oh my God, things are happening really fast. Or like, I know if I make this decision, my life will look completely different. I don't know if I'm ready for a big change. And your life might look similar, but you feel completely different. You do experience love. You are fulfilled. You do have friends and creative outlets, but the energy of the portal is fast. The energy of the portal is confronting. You're going to face yourself. You're going to see. You're going to be confronted. The energy of the portal is oh, they're showing me a funny, hold on, let me look at this a little bit more clearly. There's a quickness and a magnetism, but also kind of a slow motion feeling. this might not make logical sense, but just like feel it with me. There's a magnetic pull, and it's alluring. Like it's alluring. And then you start to feel the what's the word? The fallout. You feel the density in your body. Tears, anger, rage, frustration, like the density in your body naturally starts to come up. You become very aware of where you feel heavy, of where you feel dense, because it's coming up to be cleared, to be released. So it's quick. From an outside perspective, it kind of looks like slow motion moving through space and then like landing. It's small decisions that feel really big. Small decisions that feel really big. And the small decisions that feel really big create the big shifts. There's also a cleaning up of the frequency of money that we use to give and receive, to pay and to be paid. You will be confronted with dirty money. Where you kind of feel like, do I really want that? Like you start to feel where this is, oh, wow. This is crude, where you feel like you're prostituting yourself for money. It's confronting. And so while it's this sexy, alluring, let's quantum leap and land in the golden age, and that's very real. In so many ways, I am living it. And I help people land in it all the time. It's real. This specific portal, it's like we see the internal cringe, the things that we haven't fully looked at. Anything that makes you cringe is just becoming really apparent, especially when it comes to vitality, money, sexual exchange. You're going to see where your sexual energy is not fully harnessed or in alignment with your divinity, with what your soul is calling you for. You'll see where, that's just the word I keep hearing, and I'm asking for a synonym, but I'm not getting one. So where you're prostituting yourself, where you're kind of doing something you don't really want to do in order to get something, where you're in this relationship, you're not totally fulfilled, but it's meeting, like it's filling a void. Or I'm at this job and it's making me money, but it's literally sucking my soul. That is the energy of this portal, and it is confronting. So for those of us who are not choosing to go through it, we're going to probably be slapped around a little bit, seeing and feeling these things. Choosing to go through it, we know we're going to face these things, but we know it's a gateway to what we're landing in on the other side. Does that make sense? Okay. And then what's the best way to energetically upgrade yourself for the portal? Meditate on the golden age. What does that look like for you? What does that feel like for you? We're creating a reality that doesn't physically exist right now. It does in some places. It's not the consensus reality. The golden age is a reality that exists. It is not the consensus reality for everyone. Meditate on the golden age and see what comes up for you. Because as you meditate on the frequency of the golden age, you might see things that you haven't thought of before. that don't quite make sense yet. And it might call you to make a decision, to do a thing, to say a thing, to learn, to make a 1-degree shift. Feel the portal in the solar plexus, throat, and yoni. Agitating kundalini energy springing forth. Yes. So you'll see in this portal where your sexual energy is blocked. Sex and money go hand in hand. We don't have time for that here. Okay. Wow, we are at 2 hours. I'm going to close the space now. I hope that was helpful for you. If nothing else, I think the biggest transformation that you could have, that this transmission could facilitate for you, is to use the vision and the energy of everything we just discussed and see it in your daily life. I promise you, things will come into your awareness that you didn't see before. Look at the inorganic blueprint and the organic blueprint. See where you are. Things will shift, I promise. This energy is here to support us. It is here to support all of us, whether we choose the quantum leap or not. They're just different timelines. They look different. So if you feel complete, thank you so much for being here. You are welcome to hop off and leave. If you want to stay and hear more about the Ascension Mastermind, I'm going to talk about that now. So the Ascension Mastermind, you're so welcome. The Ascension Mastermind is the space that I was guided to open to hold a few people's hand through this portal. You're so welcome. I have done masterminds before, never one like this. This is so specific. Because of this portal, because of it opening, because of the energy that's here, and because of the opportunity that we have to literally quantum leap, my job as Oracle and Ascension Guide is to walk people through that process. So the Ascension Mastermind is a 6-month mentorship container. It's only going to be a handful of us. I don't know the exact number of people, but it's less than 10. Historically, it's been like 5 or under, but it's a handful of people. This is a highly curated group, and we will go through nervous system healing, mental reprogramming, energetic upgrades. We will go through all of the things that you need to fully align with your guidance system, so the how is no longer relevant. Because where most of us are in this old paradigm, in this inorganic template, is we don't do anything different because we don't know how. Well, duh, we're working within the confines of a blueprint that doesn't match where we're going. There's not a roadmap here. We have to leave this one. And so I carry the roadmap. I am the tour guide, and it's different for everybody. But the entire intention here is for those of us who feel called to this leap, who are doing something different. Specifically, you have a soul calling. This is a timeline jump with intimate support along the way. Love, sex, money, mission. Those are the 4 main pillars of our lives that we focus on because they all tie together. So we have bi-weekly group calls where I will do a live transmission to activate something, heal something, shift something directly related to you. The people in the mastermind have a dedicated portion of my channel dedicated to this small group for 6 months. We have a Voxer group to communicate in between. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I made the decision, I'm taking the leap, this just happened, what do I do? You can state that in the group and receive our support so you don't have to leap alone. This is going from I'm in the car and I need a spaceship, but I don't know how the car turns to a spaceship, to driving into the mastermind and we build your spaceship together. And then you leave and you're like, oh, wow, I'm flying in a different dimension now. What just happened? I don't know, but I'm making more money and I'm having like amazing orgasms and receiving the answers to the universe when I'm having sex, and I'm living my purpose and I feel really fulfilled. I don't know what happened, but I'm in a spaceship now. So that's what the Ascension Mastermind is about. You also have access to the Living Library, which I don't really advertise, but it is a huge database of all kinds of guided healings, journeys, activations, so that you can use those in between when we're not together. It's kind of like Zaya on demand. So you have access to that for the full 6 or 7 months. You also get 3 private sessions with me. One of them happens before the cohort starts. The first group cohort call is on 4/20, April 20th. Between now and then, I'm doing everyone's individual sessions. These individual sessions are very specific. I'm going to look at your nervous system, your brain, your energy field, and we're going to click some things into place, kind of restructure some things internally to calibrate to this portal. So you're in the energy of it. And then in that session, I can give you some things to focus on or look at or work on or healing to do in the library so that you can be in the work leading up to our first call. And then you have 2 one-on-one calls, private sessions with me throughout the 6-month journey, so that as something comes up for you and you're like, okay, this really feels like I want to go deep one-on-one, you schedule the session with me, we do the session, and you have that. So this is the most in-depth, handheld, curated experience I've ever offered in this format. And the dates are very specific to coincide with this portal. What else do I want to say about this? Any questions? So I see some of you here that I think I've talked to about the mastermind, and others, this might be your first time hearing it. But let me know if you have any questions. I feel like there was one more thing I wanted to say. Oh, this is by application. This is high-level work. There is a level of integrity and cohesion that needs to happen for everyone to be able to show up fully. We talk about sex, we cry, we do embodiment practices, we get in our bodies together, we go on a really intimate journey together. So it is by application. I can put the link to the application in the replay video. It is also linked in my Instagram bio. And then, let's see, do you know what days and times the group session will likely be? Wednesdays, usually the exact time. I wait until everyone is in, because just to get the time that works for most people. Generally speaking, it'll be Wednesday, like either like noon-ish, like between noon and afternoon time typically. And usually people just kind of arrange their schedules around it. Sometimes I have someone in the UK or something, and so we try to adjust a little bit. But for the most part, it'll be Wednesday afternoon-ish. Anything else? Any other questions? Oh, how to know if this is for you. I'll tell you who this is not for. If you're not willing to be vulnerable, this won't be for you. If you're not willing to be triggered and move through it with love and support, this won't be for you. It's confronting. It's also beautiful and expansive, and you'll meet soul family. I've had people in masterminds before that are literally best friends today, and they see each other, they do things without me, and they're like, we wish you were here. And I'm like, I feel left out. So like, if you feel like you've been on the journey and you're like, I don't want to fucking do this alone. Like I want sisterhood, I want support, I want soul family. This is going to be the space for that. I've had men and women in the masterminds. I love when it's a mixed group. If you are not, let's see, it's a very energetic and quantum space. So there's a level of acceptance and openness that is required for you to really squeeze the juice out of it. You don't have to know what the quantum field is. You don't have to be an energy healer. It's not about that, but you have to have a trust and a knowing that what we do in the quantum and energetic is literally shifting your physical reality. That belief is necessary. And if you don't believe it now, that belief will be anchored in this space. It can't not be. That's what we're working with. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? Does that answer your questions? I see people thinking, yes, that answers your question. Okay. Okay. So if you would like to apply, please reach out. It's in my bio. Then I'll send you more details. The intention of this space is to collapse time. You can stay on your current timeline, or we can collapse time and really get somewhere faster. If you don't want to do it fast, this probably isn't for you. That doesn't mean overnight success. This is not a quick fix pill, not it. Time does collapse though. So know that that's a part of this process. We will clear karma that's keeping you in this inorganic template, and clear that so you can move forward in your organic templating. We're going to be upgrading your organic templating, working with the nervous system, working with the brain. Yeah, and you get a lot of support. And what's on the other side, you don't really know. The baby's birthing. You don't know what the baby looks like until the baby comes out, but you're pregnant. And there's a baby coming. And that baby is you. It's the next version of you living a life that you're not in right now, that you feel called towards. You might see bits and pieces. This is for you. At a fork in the road, birthing something, big life change. You know you want quantum, energetic, physical, emotional support. You want community. You want to go all in. This is for you. Okay. The investment is $12,000 for 6 months. If you pay in full, it's $11,000. There are 2 payment plan options. The standard payment plan is $2,000 a month times 6. In March, for people signing up in March, since I'm doing the one-on-one sessions now, there's a $1,500 payment plan. And this is $1,500 a month times 8. So you get we're really together for 7 months if you start now, because you have access to the living library, you have your session, and you have support in this month before we get started next month. So the $1,500 payment plan option is available for March signups, and then we book your session immediately. Anything beyond that, if you apply and this feels good, and then I send you the payment links, there will be a link to book a call. You know the price, you know the drill, you know what we're stepping into. If you look at all that and are like, yes, this feels like it, but I've never worked with you before, or I just want a quick chat to like really make sure this is aligned for me, you can book a call on that page as well, but that all comes after the application. So I'd be more than happy to talk to you and really feel in and give you an honest answer. And like, yeah, I think this would be really supportive, or you know what, this might not be the fit for you right now. Usually it's a fit and I'm scared, and will you walk me through it and like figure out the money thing with me and like do it together and like hold me through signing up and doing the payment. That's often what happens. And I'm more than happy to do that with you and to set an intention and create an investment ritual and do it together so that I can hold your intention as you step into this space and really support you through this process. And I put it in my notes and I have it on my altar. I'm very connected to y'all. So that is an option. I think that's it. If this resonates, I would love to have you. And if I can support you in any other way, please let me know. I love you so much. Happy Golden Age Wealth Portal. Whether you decide to swerve or veer or like ignore, it's here and it's supporting us. And I'm here to support you too. I love you so much. I will talk to you soon. Bye.